Hello and welcome to Delhi Clicks. Join me as we adventure through the digital world, explore new hardware and software, and boldly go to websites that you've never been to before. Up ahead on today's show. Check out Apple's new iPod Touch. We explore iPod Touch usage. Take a look at some IT startups that are doing really well. And of course, our website picks, game review, and lots more. First up, we check out the Apple iPod Touch. I know a lot of you have been dying to find out more, so watch this.
Apple's iPod Touch is not just a portable music device, but a marvel of engineering. Its flawless physical design and groundbreaking multi-touch input screen makes it a gadget from the future. At first glance, there's little to differentiate the iPod Touch from the still not available in India iPhone. Though it shares the iPhone's 3.5-inch 320 by 480 touchscreen at 110mm by 61.8mm by 8mm, the iPod Touch is a touch narrower and shorter than its cellular cousin. The screen is well lit and the icons are supremely intuitive. They tell you what to do. It features only one physical button which doubles to switch power on and return to home menu. The interface is an eye candy in the truest sense of the word. You use the fingers to scroll through menus, use revolutionary touchscreen keyboard to populate address book, and zoom in and zoom out of pictures by pinching fingers on screen. Dialog screens swish from side to side, applications zoom into view when you open them and zoom out again when you close them down. If that's not enough to warm up the heartbeat, there's also the touchscreen element, which just demands that you repeatedly flick through, quite literally, song lists and address book. Using music menu is ridiculously easier. To stop or skip tracks as well as change the volume, a double click on the home button will bring up a music control interface no matter what you're doing on the touch. Apart from being a wonderful address book, mobile web browser, photo viewer, organizer with exceptional battery life, the iPod Touch is, to our ears, the best sounding iPod yet.
So what's the experience like? We've got a great story for you on regular usage of the iPod Touch.
Done. Done.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Now, the early days of the internet in India saw the dot-com boom. Lots of websites were launched, only soon to fail because of a lack of sustainability. The IT startup business is slightly more stable and more profitable. Take a look at this.
Hi, my name is Ashish Kumar. I'm a computer science engineer by profession. I'm a founder of New Delhi-based Techriti Software. Techriti is a New Delhi-based software services company. We primarily do the development in what we call as the next generation of web applications. things have been changing, there have been certain technological advances. So we are basically banking on that particular thing and saying that, okay, we will create a very, very interactive, very user-friendly applications onto the web, really kind of say making sure that desktop the advantage of desktop application is carried onto the web, and so that people will start using web application more and more. It's really a collection of two words, IT and startup. So very, very, in speaking in the layman terms, any company which is which is just starting is a startup, and if it happens to be providing some technology services, that is called an IT startup. So there are two companies where you are actually selling just the technologies. That is one kind of company. The second kind of companies will be where using technology to sell something. So a travel based company could also be using using IT, but that will not be classified as an IT startup. But a company which is really essentially selling IT services, whether it's an accounting software, whether it is a web-based software, that is what will be called an IT startup. IT startup, or any startup for that matter, is really all about passion. Money is definitely a factor there, but they are not completely driven by money. So what happens is that it gives you a lot more freedom to do what you want to do. Right now, I think the IT scene in IT is pretty, in the nascent stages in India. So I will say this, the small, the nimble startups which are happening, it's just a matter of time. And what also needs to happen is there probably in the next 2 to 3 years, there has to be one IT startup coming out of India which should become hugely successful. That is what really happened in the US. Google happened, Facebook happened, MySpace happened, and these companies really became really big all of a sudden. The moment we see one such company from India, you will see that okay, whatever preparation has been going on in India for the last 2 to 3 years, that will really take off.
Time now to check out tech news from around the world, and then we'll take a little break.
Yahoo today announced the launch of its Messenger 9.0 beta, a new version of the popular instant messaging software that's designed to work on both Windows XP and Vista. It sports a new design, better layout and arrangement of contact list, video and photo sharing, embedded YouTube player and Flickr photo viewer. The avatars and status messages can now be seen right next to contacts' names. The latest version allows people to use the program in their native language. The Indian version enables users to chat in Hindi. Android, Google's mobile platform, is finally open to the developers. Now you can download the SDK and start to develop great applications. Google has launched a competition that offers 10 million awards for the most interesting applications. O2 has announced the launch of the XDA Flame in India. According to the company, the XDA Flame is the first PDF phone to harness the full multimedia capabilities of a 3D graphics processor. With this GPU, the XDA Flame also becomes the first PDF phone to feature two processors, the other being an Intel CPU. This allows the workload to be split between the two, leading to overall device efficiency and a smoother end-user experience.
Welcome back. You're watching Delhi Clicks, the show where we bring you bits and bytes of hardware, software, and the internet. In fact, that's what we're looking at now. We're looking at some of the coolest websites out there in the ether. Take, for instance, this one, soundjunction.org. Soundjunction.org is the ideal site for a budding musician. It's an extremely comprehensive site with information on all things musical. If you want to know about different styles of music, from rock to jazz to hip-hop, or if you're thinking of picking up an instrument, then this is the site to be at. There's a heavy educational bias, so every subject is discussed in exhaustive detail. There's also sections on how music works, where there are articles and photos. There are even video clips giving you tips on how to play certain instruments. But if you want to get your hands really dirty, then head back to the main section and click on Composer. That brings you to a simple music editing software, which isn't professional grade, but it is definitely worth checking out. Our next website pick for today is DezinoArt.com. Billing itself as an online encyclopedia of interesting vehicles, this site is a must visit if you're a fan of all things vehicular. The site ignores average everyday vehicles, instead focusing on innovative and interesting machines across the world. The homepage has top-notch news and articles and photos regularly updated of the world's most exotic vehicles. Now, the site really comes into its own when you step away from the photos of the world's latest supercars and instead dig through the archives and investigate some of the weirder machines from history. Check out, for instance, the Land Walker exoskeleton or the dolphin-shaped speedboat. The third website for today is my personal favorite, scratch.mit.edu. Have you ever wanted to animate your own cartoon, perhaps write your own video game, or even create interactive art, but you don't want to be bothered with that coding business? Well, then Scratch is the perfect website for you. It's the brainchild of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Media Lab, and it's meant as a tool for people without computer programming skills, which really makes most of us. It uses a graphical interface to create a sequence out of building blocks. Basically, these are dragged and dropped and then linked together to play a kind of multimedia Lego. Then it's time to assign images. Images can be imported from the existing directory or from your hard drive. Once that's done, actions are assigned to these blocks. Action blocks have functions like move or play drum, and these are stacked together to create an animation. Once you're done, you can upload your creation to the Scratch website for other people to have a look at and gain inspiration from. It's kind of inspired by hip-hop DJs, where they take a little bit of everything and create something new and something unique. It's a great site meant for mostly kids and youngsters, but it's great for adults who have that little bit of a child inside them as well. Speaking of adults with a child inside, it's time to take a look at our game review for the day.
I have a pretty little football in my hand today, but I don't need it because I ain't talking football today, so I'm gonna chuck this away. What I'm talking about today is basketball, and the game I review today on Delhi Clicks Game Review is NBA Live 2006. Now, when I review a game, what I need is a gamer, and I have with me today Chaitanya, to whom we are going to talk about the game, NBA Live 2006. Okay, what would you say is the one USP of the game?
The game modes, that is that the
There are
game
different
has,
game
yeah,
modes.
The different game modes. Say slam dunk competition is there. You have a one-on-one. You have an individual practice, which is not there in many games.
Individual practice, could you elaborate on that?
Individual practice means like only one player and you practice with him.
Okay.
Say shooting, dribbling, passing.
Okay. So that means you're telling me that before you begin the game, you can actually spend some time practicing with
Yeah,
a particular player before you get onto the game.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that helps you make the game easier, I guess.
Yeah, that makes the you get to know about the moves of the game.
Yeah.
And how to play the game.
So when you compare the game to the live act, is it very similar?
Yeah, it's quite similar. EA Sports has done a very good job on it.
Okay, they managed to
Yeah,
get
they've
this-
managed to get the players and they resemble each other.
Okay, yeah. Talking of resemblance of players, let's come to the graphics. So you're saying the graphics of this game are really good.
Graphics of the game are not really good, but it's good.
Okay, because the characterization and all are quite close to perfect?
Yeah, very close to perfect. I'll say 90-95%.
Okay, and the general graphics, I mean,
The general graphics are very good, but you can see the players who are sitting on the bench, but you won't be able to see the audience, the people who have come to watch the match.
okay, let's come to the audio of the game. EA Sports always comes up with brilliant music for all their sports games.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about the audio of this game?
The audio's very good, as I've heard. Like one of the songs which I also have, which I also hear quite a bit, is the Fort Minor. Remember the name?
So it's primarily hip hop for.
Yeah, hip hop.
And-
Basically, it's generally hip hop for NBA, and they have rock songs for the other games.
Okay, let's come to the gameplay of this game.
Yeah.
And how do you progress? Like, how do you have a championship in the game as well?
I really haven't got through the championship, but like you play with another person. You first you play a normal game. So there are 4 quarters. and each quarter is 3 minutes.
This is, you're saying, the individual one-on-one games.
No, this is a normal 5-on-5, the basic main game.
Okay, and what happens if you lose the game? You can begin a new game again.
Yeah, you can either quit the game, you can rematch the game.
This game, NBA Live 2006, also has a Hall of Fame where you can go and check out archives, history about the game of basketball, ex-players and stuff. You can do that?
Yeah, you can do that also. There are records, there are trophies also, and which is fun, like
So it's
playing
very
around with it.
informative,
Yeah, it's quite informative, and Hall of Fame, you have like for a special player, you give him a trophy.
What about the dribbling, passing and all? Is it easy to control?
It's easy, as you know the keys.
Yeah.
First, go to the game settings, the controls, and you can.
Are the controls easy, or is the dribbling and passing difficult to indulge in?
If you've played a PS2 before, I think it's very easy.
Okay, Chaitanya, let's put this all in a nutshell.
Okay.
How much would you rate the game out of 10?
I would rate this game 8 on 10.
So there you have it. Chaitanya rates NBA Live 2006 an 8 out of 10. As for me, I'm going to split up the rating. I'm going to give the graphics of this game, which I think are fantastic, a 9 out of 10. The audio soundtrack, the wonderful hip-hop tracks that are incorporated into NBA Live 2006 would win a 9 out of 10 from me. And the gameplay of this game, I thought that a couple more modes would have made it a lot more interesting. So I would give the gameplay of this game an 8 out of 10. But that wouldn't stop me from giving an overall 9 out of 10 for NBA Live 2006. I think all of you out there should go and check out this game. All of you sport lovers who enjoy sport games from EA Sports should definitely go and pick up this game and try it out for yourself. Well, that's it for me on Game Review for right now. But the next time I see you, I'll have another game, another gamer, and a lot more excitement.
Now, before we wrap up today's show, it's time to try and answer your questions. Let's have a look at the first one.
How do you create flash animations?
Well, for serious animation, you need to get yourself Macromedia Flash. Once you have it, install the program. Create a frame, draw something, create another frame, change something in it, and so on and so forth. Basically, you need to learn Macromedia Flash. Next question.
How do you repair active desktop in Windows XP?
Okay, here goes. Go to your control panel. There, click Display Properties. Select the Desktop tab. Here there's this button which says Customize Desktop. You need to click that. From the Desktop Items window, select the Web tab. Here, if you want to enable your active desktop, then select My Current Homepage. You can also add other pages to your active desktop by selecting them here. The Synchronize button updates all content for your desktop if it's active. Now, if you want to disable your active desktop, then make sure that nothing in the screen is checked. I hope that helps you out. Next question.
How can you speed up your computer?
Great question. There are at least 5 things you can do to speed up your computer. First of all is more memory. If an application needs to be partially stored on disk, that really chews up your computer. Next thing is a better video card with, again, more memory. That can really free up your processor from those graphics-heavy games. Third, I would say, is a faster disk drive. Laptops especially have slower disks. Look for a lower access time. Fourth and fifth are fairly similar. Clean your computer up of any spyware and viruses. That really chews up your processor. Hope that helps you out. And that brings us to the end of today's show. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Write to us at feedback@ndtv.com with questions, queries, comments, well, feedback. Text us at 56388 or join our Orkut community. Just like this show, it's called Delhi Clicks. We'll see you again next time. Till then, stay connected.